So, a bit ago, I decided to revisit Gravel as I did play the game a little bit on the PS4, but I did end up seeing this game on the Xbox Series X with every single thing in it for $3. And I was like, you know what? Let me just get this game again on the Series X and just play the game on there with every single DLC and kind of see how the game is. What's kind of insane, though, guys, is this time I did this a little bit differently. On the PS4, I didn't play the game a ton. Like, I did go through it a little bit. I might have hit maybe 30 to 40% of the game, so I did play a good amount of it. But this time on Gravel on the Series X, though, I got through over 70% of the story itself. I had all the main bosses besides the last one beat, so that was pretty cool. And also, I did end up going through every piece of DLC and doing multiple races in every one to really see how this game was. And to be honest, I kind of think a lot of people forgot about this game in a way because I really do think there's not, for one, there is probably not a lot of off-road racing games like this, I would say, nowadays, which we all do know it could be kind of niche and stuff compared to something like Forza or Motorfest or Need for Speed or kind of any game that focuses on a little bit of both or tries to have everything in there. But I kind of do think this game really is pretty dang solid. And the fact that I was able to get this for $3 is kind of wild. I think, guys, if the game goes on sale, I would definitely recommend grabbing Gravel if you have not. Like, I think there's a lot of fun to be had in this game. Even though it's a little bit older, I would still recommend jumping on it. Because I really do think a lot of people would probably have a lot of fun on this game if they did end up playing it. Or at least maybe they never have played it. I really think a lot of people would love it. Like, yes, the game did end up coming out in 2008, but my goodness, it really kind of hit me again with the overall older games just have a fun gameplay loop that locks you in. I wasn't even going to play this game as long as I did. But my goodness, though, I could not believe I played the game basically like 6 hours. I think it was legit straight one day, and then I did play it each day after that a little bit. And the gameplay overall did stay fun through the entire 70% of the entire story I did end up playing. And mind you, that was the story part. I also went through each DLC and did races in those, as I mentioned before. And when I did play this game on PS4, I kind of thought that maybe the races or things would become repetitive, but after getting farther into the game, I was kind of confused because it didn't really give me that feeling that it was repetitive. Like, the tracks were different enough, like you would end up encountering some of the same ones in some of the DLCs or depending on the races, right? But a lot of them were different and it still felt kind of fresh when you would go in there. And that was really surprising to me. One thing that kind of got me really thrown into a loop is the handling in Gravel is honestly pretty dang fun, man. Like, that's something I kind of wondered about back in the day, and when I played this game again, I got way farther into it. It kind of gave me a better understanding of the handling in this game, and it really does feel a lot more satisfying. I feel like a lot of people would enjoy it, and I really do think that Milestone actually did pretty dang good when it comes to off-roading in this. This game legit has better handling than any game I have played from Nacon so far. I am going to play the WRC series and planning videos on all of those, so do stay tuned. I want to see how those games might be a little bit different, as we do know they're off-roading, right? The one thing I would say you could compare this game to is probably something like Dirt 5 or maybe around that, and they're even then are still a little bit different. Now, the other part, though, is when I got farther into the story, I kind of thought the game, or I guess you could say the career, we all do know there's not really a story, is I kind of thought the game might end up getting kind of annoying, or maybe, again, super repetitive, or maybe I wasn't going to enjoy the races, or maybe it was going to be kind of annoying to do the events. But to my surprise, though, even farther into the career, it was still really fun doing the races later on in the game. I did notice the boss races were actually pretty difficult, which is something I did genuinely enjoy, considering most games nowadays are, kind of simple, so people look at those and go, okay, these are too easy, I want more of a challenge. The boss races in this game definitely had a challenge to them. Now, we all do know, guys, this game is not really a sim game, okay? That's kind of obvious. It's more of a, okay, let's jump into a fun arcade racing game where you can have a great time by simply racing, which is something I really do love about this game. You pretty much jump in, there's only mainly races. Now, there is like a checkpoint thing to where you'll see like an X, an arrow, and then an X, and then there could be 3 or 4 of them in a row or 2. You have to go through the main green arrow because the X will end up slowing you down. That was a pretty fun race. There's also the time trial type of thing, and then also races. Then, of course, you have the 1v1 battles as well. So that's a decent amount of races in there. But my goodness, I love seeing how fun these actually were. There's no battle pass in this game. There was like weekly challenges you could do that would give you some extra things and all that. But again, there was no fear of missing out on some of this stuff that you would see in new games. And is it weird when I boot up old games, I'm super happy not to see anything with a battle pass or any of that in there? Isn't that kind of crazy how it really is like that when you log on? Now, playing this game in 2026, though, as it has actually been a pretty long time since I played this game. It's been like 7 or 8 months, and I saw this game on the Xbox, and I was like, you know what, let me grab it. And again, guys, wishlist this game when it's on sale. Pick it up if you haven't played it. I guarantee a lot of people would actually enjoy it. Now, the overall track variety really kind of got me surprised in 2026 because it was better than I expected. And I'm going to be real and say it's actually more variety-based than something like Dirt 5, which I was not expecting. The weather's also pretty good. It'll rain, it'll snow in the DLC that I was playing and stuff, and it looked pretty dang great. I was kind of surprised about that. The replay value of the races is testing out different vehicles. There's also a lot of different events in the game, so I feel like you could have a good time there. The overall sense of speed in the game, I would say, is decent. Probably not the greatest thing you'll ever see, but I would say overall, it was pretty good. The other part about this game I do like, though, is the vehicle variety, guys. Now, part of the DLC, they did end up adding like an armor type of thing to where you could drive like a tank, a Hummer, and some other weird-looking military type of vehicles. There's rally cars in there, older rally cars. You also have trophy trucks. There's buggies and stuff like that as well. You also have the rallycross type of vehicles. Like, there is a good amount of cars in the game, or an overall variety that you would expect from something like Dirt that is also in this game. Now, you could probably say that some things in the game might have not aged 100%. Like, you might be able to be like, oh, okay, doing the same few races over and over, or maybe the overall career type of thing where you kind of just go through each event. There's not a full story. You know, some players might not like that, and they might not enjoy it, but to be honest, compared to how most new games are, it really isn't all that different, if I'm being real. Now, to be real, I couldn't really find anything that genuinely bothered me about this game, though, especially playing it again and getting way farther into it. Like, you could argue that maybe the graphics aren't as great in this game as some of the new ones, but to be honest, guys, I am all about fun gameplay over graphics, man. I could jump on a PS2 game and play that for legit hours and not even mind how it might look on a bigger TV or like a computer screen or something to actually play it. I really don't mind as long as the overall fun factor is there. So the graphic part, I would say players might talk about. But to be honest, I really don't think that is a huge deal, as the overall fun factor of this game is definitely there. Now, the one thing I wanted to answer, though, is a lot of people might be wondering, should I get Gravel in 2026? Should I play this game? Is it worth it if I've never played it? And to be real, guys, if you have fun doing arcade racing games, you like Dirt, if you like WRC, if you like Forza, The Crew, Need for Speed, I honestly think you should definitely give this game a try, as I was having a way better time than I expected. And I'm also going to say something right now. I had a lot more fun playing this game again compared to when I was on the PS4. I really don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I played it back then. Now, I want to mention that was on the PS5. The game is PS4, if you know what I mean. But when I was playing the game again, though, I genuinely got sucked right into it. I played the game all day, and I played it every day during the week, as I wanted to really play the game and kind of get through the overall honeymoon phase type of thing with it, to see how the game would be after, and I was still having a great time. I think a lot of players really would genuinely enjoy the game. Now, yes, it is full off-road, so maybe that might not be the biggest thing that might want to get players in there, but you know what, guys? It's kind of worth nowadays to just give some of these games a try, man. I mean, to my surprise, I am basically going to start playing a lot of the WRC games as well. And as I mentioned earlier, I am planning videos on a lot of them just to mix some things in there, because at the end of the day, they are racing, and I've been having more fun playing these types of games and also kind of just mixing up the overall horizon, no pun intended there, of other games. And I think a lot of people might actually enjoy that. Like, just instead of just playing Forza or just The Crew, I'm like, you know what? Let's go play other types of things in the entire genre. Let's just go mess around. And so far, I kind of think that was a great idea. The fact that I really went through over 70% of the main story and then also played through part of each DLC really was something I wanted to do, man. Like, I didn't just want to jump on Gravel this time and play it for 30 or 40 minutes and then record some audio about my first impressions. No, bro, I wanted to legit play through this game and see how it would be even toward the end. And even then, It really is actually super fun. Like, I wasn't even kind of going into the game going, all right, well, maybe it will just be like a nostalgic type of thing. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll just be nostalgia with this game, but nope. It was actually really fun playing it after, and I was still getting sucked into it, which kind of proves that maybe the old games are actually better than people think they are, because it kind of showed that with Call of Duty, right? Black Ops 2, that game shows you that no, it's not nostalgia, bro. Literally, whole games are actually fun, and players seem to really want to play them, and they want those things in the newer ones. And a lot of these games really keep making you come back. Like, the older games make me want to go play them, or you kind of have a weird feeling that you want to keep playing the game. The game isn't forcing you to get on it because you have to do some challenges. No, you want to get on the game because you genuinely enjoy it, which, if I'm correct, isn't that one of the biggest reasons to play a game anyway, as you really do want to get in there and enjoy the game, right? And I think Gravel would be a great way to enjoy some other games, or even jump in and try some different stuff. Because, guys, you will definitely have a good time in this game. I think if you can get the game on a sale with every DLC, you will probably have a really wonderful time. And it's something different overall, which I think even if you're not really into off-road games, I have seen other people on Discord and some other forums saying they really weren't into these type of games or like that, and they started to play it, and even they did end up getting hooked. So I guess even in 2026, older games can definitely shine. I did end up doing a video a while ago saying that Gravel really was kind of underrated, and I still kind of go by that. I think this racing game was not talked about enough, or at least even that much, and it kind of went under the radar, man. You know what I mean? I think a lot of players probably didn't even know what Gravel was, because, to be honest, guys, I also didn't know what Gravel was until way later on. I didn't even know this game was a thing, and when I started to play it, I was like, oh no, this is definitely the type of racing game that kind of flew under the radar, where I kind of feel like part of that could be down kind of to the fact that, yes, this was an off-road racing game, so maybe that alone might end up having kind of a longer effect of people not really wanting to play it, or not being as interested in it. Maybe it launched in a really weird era or time, because a lot of people might not even heard about this game, and unfortunately I was part of that. But guys, I'm really glad I played this game again, because it kind of gave me a longer shot at it to really jump in and go through the story more and really give the game a chance. And so far, I am super impressed on what Milestone did end up doing. The overall handling of the game is way better than what I expected. I'm not going to lie, guys. When I jumped into this game, I really thought it was not going to be that great. And on the PS4, or, PS4 version of it when I was playing it, I even thought the handling was pretty good. But the more I played this game on the Series X, I got way farther into it. I really did start to actually enjoy the handling model in the game. Like, it did actually feel pretty satisfying, which I would say is probably one of the biggest things you kind of need in a racing game, as everything good could be good, but the handling might not be great. And then guess what that's going to do, man? You pretty much have a terrible game if you can't actually drive the cars in a racing game. You know what I mean? But overall, though, guys, I want to know your thoughts on Gravel. For me, it's kind of insane how underrated this game was, and it really isn't talked about all that much, which is kind of insane, though. But if you can get this game on sale, I would 100% recommend getting it, just to play something different, or to kind of add on to, oh, let's jump into some different racing games, as the more modern racing games are in a very weird spot right now. Gravel might actually be a fun overall change that you might have not even expected, because, to be honest, I wasn't expecting to have this much fun on this game.